This week on Tumbleweed and Turkiye, we explored the Deyrulzafaran Monastery and the amazing small town of Mardin. Great wandering, interesting museum, fantastic bazaar. I'm Jill, and this is Terry, together with our Huli Turkiye and our band Tumbleweed, are traveling the world. And this is Turkiye in flying Huli mode. We're on the road from Sanliurfa toward Mardin, and there's just not a whole lot out here. Well, it looks like we went to the southwest. Look at the adobe. It's been a drive, but finally we're arriving at the Syrian Orthodox Monastery of Deyrulzafaran. There it is, the Deyrulzafaran Monastery, Morhananyo, a UNESCO World Heritage Site of the Orthodox Syriac faith. Toki and I are out taking a little preamble, and we have discovered that even though it's sunny, it's a little cold because of the wind. But we are at the Deyrulzafaran Monastery near Mardin in Turkey, and it is an Oriental Orthodox monastery from the Syrians. It's a Syrian Orthodox monastery. So they have services, and the services are in an offshoot of Aramaic, which I find interesting because that's an original language back in the day when these religions were being founded. This monastery is called Deyrulzafaran because there used to be wild saffron that grew around here and people would gather it. So I thought that was interesting. You can only take a guided tour of this monastery, and they're only on the hour, so we're heading in there. These things are always at the top of a mountain. Even though it's winter, there have been a lot of kids on field trips. This monastery began its life as a temple to the Assyrian sun god Shamash. This is a ceiling. It was placed without mortar. They could build this ceiling without mortar because they fitted the stones from above. One of the windows is aligned to catch the sunrise, suggesting its use in ritual ceremonies. So this is a chapel in the Orthodox monastery, and this is an Oriental Orthodox monastery affiliated with the Syrian Church. So it's Oriental Orthodox Syriac. And the leaders of their church, like the Roman Catholic Church might have a pope, this branch of Christianity has metropolitans. And in this chapel, all the metropolitans of the Syriac tradition were buried. Now it's no longer the seat of the patriarch. That was moved to Damascus. But in history, it was the seat, and all of the metropolitans were buried here. They bury them seated, facing east, and fully enrobed in their liturgical vestments so that they are ready to meet their Creator. This is the current sanctuary that the monastery uses. They have masses here daily, and the mass is said in Aramaic because that was the language of the Oriental Orthodox Church of Syria. Here is an example of the writing. So this is the Church of the Virgin Mary. It also is 4th century. This is a litter. It was used to carry the head of the church about. And it was not pulled by people, but pulled by a donkey. The courtyard has porches along all 4 sides, and in the middle there are 2 large wells, so the monastery was able to get water. The monastery has a storied history. After its original use as a sun temple, it was used by the Romans and then the Byzantines. Later, it was raided by the Persians when they defeated the Byzantines. Later in time, the monastery was attacked by Tamerlane and also by Kurdish raiders. We just had a quick tour of the Deyrulzafaran Monastery outside of Mardin in Turkey. It was quite interesting. It's old, it dates from the 4th century, but one of the things I found probably most interesting was it's a different branch of the Orthodox Church. This is the Oriental branch of Orthodoxy in the Syrian tradition. And one of the things that they don't have in this branch of Christianity, unlike many Orthodox branches, are icons. They don't have the tradition of having an icon and venerating it like we saw so much in Romania. But very interesting place, and I'm glad I got a chance to see it. This morning, we're making our way from the monastery into the small town of Mardin, Turkey. Mardin is a captivating city in southeastern Turkey, perched high on a rocky hill overlooking the vast Mesopotamian plains near the Syrian border. All right, the gateway to Mardin says that it indeed is an antique city. It's renowned for its honey-colored limestone architecture. The old city is just like a living open-air museum, especially the vibrant marketplace. We thought we'd take you with us as we cruise up the main drag of the city of Mardin. Luckily, they've set it up as a one-way road. The traffic would be impossible if it were going 2 ways. You can tell it's a tourist town, but it's also a town for locals, and that's nice to see. And now we've reached the gold souk, the gold selling area. Here's a view of the Mesopotamian plain stretching down to Syria and beyond. Okay, so here's our meze plate. Little mercimek, lentil soup, yogurt, tomato salad. And there's all sorts of interesting things on this meze plate. Hummus, pomegranate and walnut, some yogurt and chickpea, some greens, some I don't know. I ordered pistachio seed coffee, and it came in this little cup with a glass of water and what appears to be rocks. I'm hoping it's not. I'm thinking maybe sugar. I don't know. Sugar or candy. Don't know. Terry, ever adventurous, is trying it. Was it rocks?
No.
Sugar?
Yeah, but
Candy?
yeah,
I guess-
maybe more candy.
I guess I'm just gonna have to try it myself. I love wandering through the bazaars of Turkey and seeing what is for sale and what people are buying. Mardin has a historic labyrinth of steep, stone-arched alleys stretching downhill from the main street. The market features traditional handicrafts, there's local coppersmiths, and donkeys which carry goods through the medieval market. Connected by narrow, winding stairways and stone-vaulted passages that once served people who traveled on the Silk Road. Some of the local items that are for sale in the markets include spices, the famous blue almonds, traditional soaps made with pistachio seed oil, and local textiles. It's fun to wander the narrow stone alleys, the merchant shops, and see daily life in the market. So this is the St. Hermes Chaldean Church from AD 397. Wow, new. This soap is local, handmade, and contains wild pistachio oil. Here we have the Mardin Museum, also in an old mansion.
Hello, Jill.
This is a zither. These figures are Bronze Age basalt statues. They were unearthed in a mound in this area, and they're tied to ancient mortuary traditions These ancient carvings display the rich Mesopotamian heritage of the area, depicting gods, goddesses, and figures of the Assyrian period. Candy, candy, candy. I have no idea why you'd buy this when you could buy baklava. There he does his fancy driving here. He's an ace. Leaving a fantastic little park up in Mardin. Mardin was an absolutely fabulous place to visit. A place I wouldn't mind returning to, and I don't feel that a lot. But it's time to hit the road and roll on to the next attraction. Thank you for joining us this week on Tumbleweed and Turkiye. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a like and consider subscribing down below. Then, join us next week as we continue our explorations around Turkey. Thanks for watching.